and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with Greg and not Thomas. He is not here this week, but he'll be here next week. And this week we have the amazing Josie here. Hello.
Hi, good to be here.
Yeah, so today we are going to talk about the student loan crisis, why Biden hasn't even decided to cancel it, even though they said he would.
Yeah.
And just a basic conversation about education in general. So, so I haven't gotten any student loans yet. I'm still doing my associates, but literally this time next year, I'm gonna have to take one out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared. But
you should be.
I'm so scared.
Yeah.
And I know you have taken out a student loan.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just talk about the process first. Like, what did you have to do?
So I actually have a really unique journey with student loans. I was a financially emancipated minor, so I did not have to go through the same FAFSA process.
Oh, wow.
Basically means that my EFC was at 0, so I had no family contribution on the FAFSA form. So I got full financial aid. I got cream of the crop most, but that includes federal student loans. So I got the maximum amount. I went to a private, small Christian university, which means that it was really, really expensive.
Yeah.
So,
sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean,
it's a whole other conversation. But go on.
Yes, it is. Okay. Yes, it is. But okay, so my degree, 4-year degree, $160,000. That's how much it costs when I was there. For 4 years, housing, food, that's how much it was. Out of all of that, I only came out with about $50K in federally subsidized student loans, which are the good ones to have. Low interest, pretty forgivable process. But I started off my adult life with $50,000 in debt. So,
wow.
Yeah. I know you can't.
My heart just dropped right now. And I'm like, do I really need a piece of paper?
Unfortunately, you kind of do. I mean, you have all of these job listings that require a bachelor's degree, and sometimes it's literally in anything, but you have to have that piece of paper in order to get a $15 an hour fucking job.
And that's the thing. Like, why am I going into $50,000 in debt when I'm not even going to be making that much money a year?
Exactly. And for example, my partner, he is in STEM. He went the good old boy route, doing what makes you a good old boy money on the American dream. Daddy paid for his college. He went to state school, so it wasn't as expensive as mine. But he still had to start at a job in the chemistry field for $12 an hour.
I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. That's ridiculous.
It's excessive. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine you go through the process of being a chemistry person? He specifically does organic chemistry, and he's going to get paid $12 an hour after spending how much on a college education?
I think, oh my gosh, how is that even legal?
Because, and no offense to everybody, the white man's keeping us down. All right.
No, you're not wrong.
And no, I specifically mean Joe Biden. All right.
That's what I was just nice segue because I was just about to mention Joe Biden. So, folks, I don't know if you recall, but back in 2019 and in 2020, he made several promises to take care of the student loan crisis. I believe in collective debt, we are almost to $2 trillion in student loan debt.
$2 trillion that is not going into the local and global economy because it's stuck in debt. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so funny because education for all would not cost that much.
Nope.
Medicare for all wouldn't even cost that much. A Green New Deal wouldn't even cost that much.
Nope.
But
But it would cost
more.
The taxpayer money.
Yeah, it you know, like it just makes me scream because you know he made those promises, and I even remember getting excited because back in like January of 2021 he said that you know he would possibly cancel $50,000 of student loan debt, which is basically what people owe. Like on average, it's about $50,000 to $60,000.
Yeah, if you went to a state school, that is about what you would pay, and probably with a master's degree as well, if you played your cards right.
Yeah. So I'm just like, do it. And that's the thing. Like Biden's numbers right now are literal shit. And if he were to even legalize weed or do any of his promises, his numbers, like just one, literally just one, his numbers would skyrocket.
Well, and I feel like people are not really putting thought into the fact that this is what would be considered an investment in the economy. You invest the infrastructure for people to be able to, one, not be in debt lifelong for their student loans, be able to have access to affordable, if not free education. Then you would have more money stimulating the economy all the way around. We would not be in these recessions. We would not have to like look at the market and kind of gauge.
Sorry, my dumbass.
That's okay. I get it.
Go on.
I forgot what I said. But essentially, we have to look at this as an investment as opposed to it's costing me money. You know?
No, it really would be like now, and it, because now that people wouldn't be spending their money on paying off their debt, they can be putting into the economy, spending money that, you know, buying stuff,
starting businesses, creating jobs,
you know. And then people were like, I remember back in the early days of the pandemic when we got like hella good unemployment, you know, they were like, oh well, look, they're spending their unemployment money on all this and this and this. And I'm like, well, one, don't you be judging how people use their money. And that's number one. That is their money. And if they're doing it irresponsibly, that is their money. You know. Two, these are poor people, yet we don't say anything when a rich person buys a yacht.
Exactly.
And number three, yeah, because they're actually experiencing a living wage. And when you have people with spending money to generate, to, you know, put into the economy, it stimulates it. Oh my God, imagine that.
Yep.
I thought they were
and supposed it also to be is
capitalists.
Yeah, and but it's also a racial issue, right? Those of us who are first generation, those of us who are immigrant families, we're the ones that are taking out these student loan debts in droves. White kids like my partner, daddy paid for it because they had the generational wealth to do so.
Yeah.
So it just perpetuates these cycles of poverty with people of color because it's expensive and we don't have the same wealth.
Wealth amongst people of color. We can't generate generational wealth.
Nope, because we're too busy paying off the government loans, the private loans, the student loans that we were told to have, that we were told to pursue in order to get ahead in this society. And now we can't even do that because we're so bombarded with debt.
An 18-year-old can go into $50,000 in debt, but God forbid they have a drink or a smoke or whatever.
And then it's also a way for the U.S. government. I mean, I'm pretty anti-military industrial complex. Sorry, everybody.
Oh yeah, as we are on the show.
It is another way for them to keep the steady stream of bodies going into the military with the promise of a free education. Lots of people, lots of children of color go that route because they do want to be able to afford to go to college.
Yeah.
But you spend however long in the military, you risk your life, you risk your mental health because you wanted to go to college. And in the end, some of them can't even survive college because they're so mentally.
That is some Hunger Games shit.
It's all
that is some Hunger Games shit. I'm sorry. Like you want basic benefits like an education and healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean,
just put your body on the line.
Yeah. Oh, and even if you come back, we might not guarantee that healthcare thing.
Yeah, you don't have mental health access. You don't have adequate healthcare even to begin with. You can ask any service member. I know quite a few, and they say, yeah, I could go to the doctor, but it takes a really long time. It's not like they're getting the best of the best, the cream of the crop, support our troops. They're getting same old shitty stuff that we get.
Yeah, I'm on Medi-Cal and that shit sucks.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, I'm still trying to get my happy pills.
I know. I just got off my daddy's insurance about a year ago. My dad had that roofers union insurance, free MRIs, free x-rays, one free ambulance ride a year. Whoa, I miss it. Now I have regular corporate insurance. It sucks.
It sucks. Oh my gosh. Okay, so if we were in power, how would we fix it? What should happen? What literally should happen?
I'm an egomaniac, so I think about this all the time. What if I was president? First of all student debt would be gone immediately. All of it would be gone. I would, this is a personal vendetta, I would stop funding private universities that discriminate against people, specifically Christian universities.
Well, I mean, one thing is, why are they getting federal funding if they're private in the first place?
There you go. Why?
If you want to become I mean, yeah, I guess for the federal, like the financial aid part of it, you know, but any other kind of funding shouldn't be going to the school, going to the student.
Well, because they have to be interconnected, right? The federal government has to be connected with these private institutions in order to be able to hand out student loans to these accredited universities. So the government makes money off of these deals with private universities. But
I hate it here.
I would get rid of that. I mean, you're telling me. Yes, I would institute free education, at least to start off with first 2 years of community college.
Yeah, like that's the compromise. I mean, I would go as, I mean, I would not compromise. I would be like, no, for up to at least a
Oh, bless you. That's okay. We're all human here.
I just like the development of that was just.
I know, I loved it. It was a saga.
Anyway. No, but I, you know, like 4 years after high, you know, would matter, and it would open up. I feel like education really is the path to success, you know, and when you
I agree.
When you're giving you know, people, you know, marginalized communities that access to something that they never had, you know, of course they're going to succeed. I was actually having a conversation with a friend of mine about ethnic studies and how it's hard to get ethnic studies done, not just, you know, because of the controversy of it. I say that in air quotes, but there's not a lot of like native people who are, you know, in the field. So if you expand, you know, education to marginalized communities, they get to finally teach their own culture and educate people to where, you know, we wouldn't really have these kind of cultural problems that we have here in the US.
Yes. And I mean, I think one of the biggest pieces of the puzzles that is often left out when it comes to education is that employers, it should be legally required for you to put in how much you're going to make at this job, because they can require a bachelor's degree, but they don't have to put how much they're paying for you to have a bachelor's degree, hourly rates. And I think that, speaking like a capitalist here, I think that would stimulate, you know, a little bit of competition. If this job is saying that you make 15, but this job will pay you 17 for the exact same title, position, and job, then they would have to then match that, right? Like this competition wise.
I feel like we should be setting a worth to degrees. Like if you
like criminal charges, they have a minimum.
Well, no, well, I mean, we should be putting like a worth, like a base salary on
Mm-hmm.
degrees, like a bachelor's, if you get a bachelor's, you should an average bachelor's is takes like what, about 50K?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, match it. 50K a year. You should
Yep.
make at least 50K a year if you have a bachelor's.
And on up, depending on the field, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I think another thing that is often ignored is that we need to teach kids that it's okay also not to go to college. If you are not interested in pursuing your education,
I
we need
wish
to
I knew how to do construction.
exactly.
I'm 60K right now.
I think it's important to equally fund, proportionally at the very least, these trade schools, like teaching kids a trade. My dad, for example, is in construction. He is a roofer. He has a very hard time finding, to be honest, white kids or American kids who have been like, were born here to work for him because they just cannot handle the pressures of the job. They're not suited for it because they were never trained to be suited for it. It's not like an inherently difficult job. It's just hard on your body. But if you don't know that going in, you're not going to stick around to figure it out. So trade school, also very important. Destigmatizing community college is very important. Growing up, I was told if we went to community college, we were not going to finish college. We were not going to have the adequate passion and drive.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah.
Because okay, it's also okay to stay at community college for more than 2 years.
Absolutely.
I've been at Mount Sac since 2017. I hate it. It's not fun. I don't encourage it. But it is okay if it takes you 5 years.
Absolutely. And I mean, people have to feed themselves. They need to have a job most of the time. So
I had circumstances, like losing a parent and a pandemic. That really set me back.
Yeah.
But it's okay. And not just that, like community college gave me an opportunity to change my major. You can't do that a 4-year. That's expensive.
We're expecting 18-year-olds to know what they want to do for the rest of their lives and pay tons of money for that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And even if that were the case, then maybe in high school you start them out exploring different kinds of subjects and not just the general ed. But that's another conversation about how public education, like K through 12, is real shit. But yeah, like I started out as a music major, and then I took music theory, and I was like, hell no.
Music theory, been there, done that.
That
was rough.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. And then I was like, okay, I want to be a theater major. And then I took poli-sci, and I was like, maybe? And then I was like, no. And then the pandemic hit, and I wasn't doing any theater, and then I discovered journalism, and I'm like, okay, let's do journalism and theater.
I was a journalism double major. I did. I mean, I paid a lot of money for it, but I did.
Oh, no. I meant like
figure it out. Yes, you're right. Yeah, duh.
You can't do that without being in thousands of dollars in debt.
Yep.
So, yikes. But yeah, I just, what should we? I'm trying to form my question. What should we like? I guess what's a smart way of handling this? Like for those who still want to like pursue the education.
Quite frankly, I think the only option for us is to continue to just pursue the education. I highly recommend state schools. Private universities, maybe don't bother. They're too expensive. You'll get equal education. I don't care what anybody says. I probably got the same education I would have gotten at APU than I would have gotten at Harvard. I was an art major, art is art, whatever. Not to say that we have equal access to programs and resources and cool professors and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But is it worth the money? Is it worth the stress of student loans? Is it worth, like, you have to weigh that cost benefit analysis for yourself. there are plenty, especially in California. We both live in California.
Yeah.
In California, we have impeccable state schools. I mean, amazing, world renowned, great. Especially if you just want to study something, not that anything is quick and easy, but like quick and easy, like English or something.
Community colleges, like Mount Sac is like one of the top 10 community colleges in the country.
Yes, definitely take advantage of community colleges. Unless you need somewhere to live, then I guess state schools immediately. But do not sleep on community colleges. If you want to pursue your education, you will do that regardless of where you go. It does not matter community college or not. You'll save 2 years worth of money.
Yeah, at least do your GEs there, y'all.
Yep. If you're not an English major, take your English class at a community college. If you don't like math, take it at a community college. Science, take astronomy at a community college.
History, community college.
Yeah. Do not be scared of the loans. I'm still holding out hope that somebody's going to forgive them for me. Still holding out hope. And they do go away after like 27 years or something like that.
They do?
I think so, yeah. They disappear after a while, yeah.
Okay, so if I finish my BA or my master's by 2028, I'll be 29. So what's 29 plus 27?
I'm not going to math.
Alexa, what's 29?
56.
Never mind.
I did it.
56?
Yeah.
I can live with that.
Also, I mean, the other option too that I'm currently looking into is you could, after college, 10 years working at a nonprofit or for the state, your student loans are forgiven. You have to make sure that you're doing them the right way. But if you're a teacher in the public school system, that counts. If you work at a church, that counts.
That's actually
anything.
What I want to do. I want to be a teacher. So.
So after 10 years, it would be forgiven. You just have to make 120 on-time payments.
Wow.
There are ways to kind of handle the situation that we currently find ourselves in. But other than that, I would advocate for voting for elected officials that are for the agenda, not people that you think are going to lie to you. I understand that Joe Biden, we had to vote for the guy. I get it. It's fine. But we should also make them keep their promises.
Yes, and I agree, and this is why we hold our elected officials accountable, because they're just one slip away from drinking the Kool-Aid and then they're not on our side anymore.
Never think that a politician is on your side, at least not right now, and not if they're old. They are puppets of the system.
Yeah. And if they say they're progressive, you better be watching them like a hawk.
Accountability is everything.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, AOC. Anyway. All right, Josie. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the show. Go ahead and shout out like any social media you want to share or anything you want to share at all. It's your time to shine.
Yeah, I mean, I am a professional shit talker. I have a podcast where I talk shit on the white American conservative evangelical church. That's what I do, called Speaking in Church, anywhere you get your podcasts.
Oh my gosh. Well, please send me the link because it will be in the description below. Also, please have me on.
Yes, we have all types of people on, all normal people for the most part. We do have the occasional famous person, but we know their stories. We don't got to listen to them again. And we have people come share their experiences and
I'll tell you the time where I got kicked out of a church.
Oh, I love it. Haven't we all? I'm just a reckless little heathen, as they say. I do work for a church though, so more on that on the podcast. You can follow me at Josie Takes the World. I am a jack of all trades, a Renaissance woman. I am a professional photographer, a writer. Anything else I want to try out, I do. I don't care. Awesome. Speaking in Church on Instagram, Josie Takes the World on Instagram. Listen to the podcast. Feel free to talk to me. I'm always looking for a conservative person to come on the podcast if you happen to find this video. So that'd be fun.
Yeah, same here.
I love a good discourse.
I mean, if they want to be torn to shreds, please.
Amen. Triple Leo right here. So.
Oh my.
No, yeah,
Leo.
intense.
All right, folks, and that concludes another episode of Let's Talk with Greg and Thomas. We will see you on Monday.
Bye.